Now's the time to break down a piece of fish. And to do that, I'm going to use two knives here that we've used before. One is the chef's knife, and I've selected the 12-inch because I have such a large fillet of salmon to deal with. And the other one is the flexible boner that we use to break down the chicken with, because I'm going to have to go against the side of the fish to remove some of those pin bones. You also notice that I have two composite cutting boards together. It's because I have two of them and they're plastic, easy to wash, more hygienic with the fish. And I've got them from a safety standpoint on a nice damp towel. And I've let the towel sort of bleed out across the edges of my board here to catch any stray bits of fish that may fall down on my counter. And I've got a needle nose pliers here to take away those pin bones. Why don't we take a look at this here? This is a gorgeous wild king salmon. Isn't that beautiful? Now, some of you may have the opportunity to have fish like this that you need to process yourself, or smaller ones that you buy in a fish store. The very first thing that you need to do is right behind the collar of the fish, go at a 45-degree angle until you hit the center bone. And then I'm putting my knife underneath here, and I'm cutting parallel to that center bone, and I'm just coming straight down against that center bone, and I can remove this beautiful fillet. Thank you very much. Now, here's the proposition I'm faced with: trimming it out and portioning it. You can see here where this white area is, these bones that go up against the side of the fillet, and I want to get rid of those. And remember, before we talked about holding your knife in such a fashion, I've got it at about 10 or 15 degrees to those bones, and I'm just pressing against them and letting the knife do the work, just like I was taking the breast off of those chicken bones. I want to leave as much meat on there as possible, and I'm letting the knife do my work. And once I'm done with that, I just cut firmly through the skin and I remove those bones. Now, there's another set of bones that I have to deal with on a fillet of salmon. And when I brush my hand across, I think you can see those pin bones standing up on edge. Just by brushing against them, they all sort of pop up out of there. I use a small needle nose pliers. You can use your fingers if you like. You can use one of those little clips that people use to remove the hulls from strawberries. Those all work great. And all I do is I pull the pin bones out at the angle in which they've gone into the fish. Any pin bones that break, usually don't have to worry about. They may not have fully formed. Just get all the ones that you can. Oh, there's one we missed. If you rub your finger against it, you can find the offending culprit. Now, the next thing that I want to do is portion this. And what I'm going to do, grab one of my long slicing knives, and at about a 5-degree angle to the fish, using a gentle back and forth sawing motion, keeping my hand firmly on the tail of the fish, I'm going to remove the fillet from the skin. And now I have a beautiful piece of salmon ready to portion. The tail piece is very skinny and cooks at a different rate than the rest of it, so I want to set that to the side and use it for a different purpose. And I'll show you something fun here. Here's a nice portion of salmon. A lot of time people like salmon steaks, but they don't like to deal with the bones in the salmon. If you just go down like so and just flip that over, you can do a French darn and mimic a salmon steak, but of course, no bones. We've just cut down through that fish about 99% of the way and just flipped it over like that. Or you can merely cut portions on an angle for quicker cooking, or cubes for shish kebab, or just poach the whole side. Not only does that cut beautifully, it eats just as beautifully too. Oh, look at that.